was on a bus, and it was delayed by 2 hours. So I had like, okay, what am I going to do for 2 hours? And then there was the brain that said to me, write that job application. So there's a job application I wanted to do that's due next week. And there was a part of me that said, write that job application. Then there was a part of me that said, I really want to read my book right now. And then there was like the observer, and I just went, I'm going to read my book right now. Like, you know, a few months ago even I would have been like, no,
push yourself.
Reading a book is leisure. Like, you need to be writing that job application. You need to be getting that done. And I would have like forced myself to do this job application. And then I would have like probably not done a great job of it because I didn't really want to be doing it. And I just went, no, like there will be a time. I just trust myself and I go, there will be a time when you actually feel like writing that application. But if you don't feel like writing it right now, it's okay. Read your book. And then you might read your book for an hour and get sick of it and then want to do their job application. But I don't know, that was a moment for me yesterday where I celebrated that. Like, that's not a food thing, but really celebrated like just the new ways that I do listen to myself and honor myself.
And that's the important point that I think you bring up, is this work, little do we need to talk about food. It's not about the food. And when we sort of work on the other elements that are interrelated, everything is interrelated. One of the early things that we talk about is a holistic approach, and, you know, our relationships, our career, our physical activity, food we put in our mouth, like they're all integrated. And, you know, we can eat emotionally, we can feel really unhappy in our job and not exercise. You know, there's so much interrelatedness. And the work that we did is actually working on what we talk about, which is primary foods instead of secondary foods, which is actually literally putting food in our mouth. So we actually worked a lot on primary foods, and a lot of it stemmed in spirituality, but not in like a you know, a religious way, in a what are your values, what are your stories, what are your belief systems, how do you show up now, how do you want to show up, do you feel in alignment with that, and how can we make this be you and be happy? Because then when you're happy, you're eating the foods that make you feel good, you're doing the things that make you feel good, and it's all in beautiful alignment together. But it takes some vulnerability from your part and workings to dive a bit deeper and understand. And you know, I think the structure of coaching like this, like you were saying, you know, we're meeting fortnightly, it gives you that time and space to put what's out in your head, be prompted through some support, and then go away and you know, hum on it for a little while until you can, you know, naturally it falls into place.
That's where the magic happens. But the magic happens in that hour, but it happens in that 2 weeks in between that hour as well. Like it's like such a great mix. You know, you need that time and space to talk about it, but you need to be committed to being aware and working on it in your own personal way, like in between those sessions, because that's where it actually sort of solidifies, I guess, or that's where it's put into practice. And that's where it actually becomes a habit, or it becomes a way of life and a way of living.
The real change happens in your everyday life and in living, not in the session. So definitely.